Good afternoon, everybody. The quote of the week is great today. It's from Johann Sebastian Bach, one of his cantatas. I don't know which one. It was in the Treasury of Daily Prayer again. Um, and it's awesome. And I really probably should wait and do this all typed up and nice and somehow figure out how to visually show it to you. I'm not going to, but I'll read it to you, and then I'll kind of show you something that's cool about this that you have to see visually to appreciate. But here's the quote from Bach. To my shepherd I'll be true, though he fill my cross's chalice. I'll rest fully in his pleasure. He stands in my sorrow near. One day surely done my weeping, Jesus' sun again will brighten. To my shepherd I'll be true. And see, I read that to you, and you're like, okay, I don't know if I get it. I'm not sure what's so neat about that. It's because you have to see it written down, which is funny because it's a musical piece, right? And I love that. I love that you can set aside the beauty of the music and you can look at the words and you can see that there's a structure to the words that you really can't hear. You have to see it visually, even though most people didn't. That attention to detail is outstanding. But there is, I think, I mean, I'm no Bach scholar and I'm no genius, but it seemed to me when I looked at this particular stanza that there's what we would call a chiastic structure to this verse. And what that means is let's see. Oh, this is awful. All right, yeah, you can kind of see it. See how I've got the first line and the last line here, and it works its way to the middle and then to the end. There's 7 lines, and the first and the last meet up, and the second to last meet up, and so forth. And then you have the middle one, which stands alone. You see, you have an odd number, right? The first and last line is the same line. So that's your main thing, right? Your theme. But the theme, there's a center to the theme. There's a center point to the theme that's absolutely important. So in other words, the repeating line at the beginning of the end is, to my shepherd, I'll be true. That's how this stanza begins and ends. In the middle, it says this important fact, and it's why, to my shepherd, I'll be true. If it wasn't for this, the statement at the beginning of the end I wouldn't be able to make it. But in the very middle, the statement that stands alone is this: he stands in my sorrow near. Right? So in the midst of my sorrow, my shepherd is with me. He is present, right? And that's why to my shepherd I'll be true. He's not wandering, right? He's right here with me, even in the midst of my sorrow, right? And so then that's surrounded. And the 2 verses before that, he stands in my sorrow near. The 2 verses before that, he says, though he fills my cross's chalice, right? So cross and chalice, that's the suffering, right? Though he fills my cross's chalice, the shepherd, it says, I'll rest fully in his pleasure. So even though this is my life right now, right? The cross is my reality right now. I will rest fully in his pleasure. I don't know if that's intended to be the future promise of rest or if it's the rest I find in the good news that he's near. I'm really not sure. But I think, at least the way I'm looking at it, is in the future. Though he fills my cross's challenge, that's my present. I'll rest fully in his pleasure. He, present tense, stands in my sorrow near. And then it starts working its way out again. One day surely done my weeping, Jesus' sun again will brighten. So you have these contrasts. The one line, though he fills my cross's chalice, is contrasted with one day surely done my weeping. Right? No, I got that wrong. I'm sorry. I'm making this more confusing than it should be. The contrasting verses are, though he fills my cross's chalice, that's contrasted with the words, Jesus' sun again will brighten, right? So the shepherd fills my chalice with affliction, and yet at the same time, Jesus will make it again. The sun will rise. The sun again will brighten, right? So there's the present and there's the future. And then the other two contrasting are these. I'll rest fully in his pleasure is contrasted with one day surely done my weeping. And those belong together. So you have, the whole point is this, you have this present reality, which includes affliction, suffering, sorrow, and you have the promise of what is coming, rest, pleasure, a brighter day. So you have the present reality, you have the future promise, and in the middle it says, present tense, he stands in my sorrow near. My shepherd is with me. And then all of that is surrounded by that statement of faith, that promise, to my shepherd, I'll be true. Right? So what I'm going to do, I need to run. I've got a meeting. That's why I didn't take the time to write this out in a prettier way for you. What I'm going to at least try to remember to do when I get back tomorrow is I'm going to put the whole thing, the stanza in the comments. And then if you're interested in understanding this a little bit better, then what I want you to do is to take it out of the comments, to write it down using that same structure, right? So first, I can't see it. First, and you can't see it. Ooh, the light is terrible. First and last belong together. The next two belong together. The next two belong together. The last one stands alone, right? Which points to the Lord's presence, right? So I'll put it in the comments, and you can kind of play with it a little bit. See if it makes sense to you. If it doesn't, let me know. But I saw this in Treasury, and I was like, oh, I want to share this one. This is really cool, and it's amazing. It's amazing that you put the music and the beauty of the sound of this together, and you can look at it visually. I mean, you wouldn't think that Bach would have even thought of something like that, but you put the balance visually as a poem is off the charts, is awesome. Way to go, Bach. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the comfort and the theology of it as well. Let me know what you think. If you like it, share it. If it was too confusing, don't share it. But let me know. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.